Correspondence relieves experiences of spectators who watched proceedings at State Stadium inauguration at other locations. Different dance steps blossomed as musicians displayed their trade Friday at Akwa Ibom Stadium. Christians trooped to churches to appreciate God's benevolence on them. Details shortly. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Guess you had a good night rest. My name is Akaniyene Ukbong. We, however, apologize for coming to you a little behind schedule. We had some technical hitches. Bear with us. It is no more news that Akwa Ibom Stadium has been inaugurated, and the Green Eagles Team B of Nigeria played an opening match with the Black Meteors of Ghana. But what is interesting is that while more than 30,000 spectators watched the match at the new stadium, a lot others gathered at strategic locations to feel what those at the stadium felt. AKBC 45 News realized that some of the places were Ibom Plaza and a location at Gwangiba Road near the fountain and the pedestrian footbridge. Eyarenopo now reports.
It's amazing to see that the saying that what is good for the goose is also good for the gander applied to the people of the state. While some went to grab tickets that would give them direct entry to the modern stadium complex, others chose to converge on locations that the state government provided television screens and streamed the activities of the day live. After all, what people at the stadium saw, the people outside equally watched but on the screen. At Gwangiba Road, near the fountain and pedestrian footbridge, the people's reaction explained their feelings. AKBC 45 News also learned that women seem to like football nowadays more than men, as the crowd were made up of 65% women. Some people at that point heaped praises on Governor Godswill Akpabio, who was described as the Moses of their generation.
The time between these two nations seems to be fighting for. Still, I'm grateful to Nigeria, and I'm glad we are watching it live.
Ibom Plaza, too, was a beehive of activities as people stood, sat, strolled, but all watching a large screen that was placed for them to witness what happened at the Akwa Ibom Stadium. Hawkers abandoned their ways and also retired to the arena to share in the fun. Some people there expressed appreciation to Governor Akpabio for his magnanimity. In all, no one was left out of the celebration. Eyarenopo.
The Ibom Stadium at its inauguration enjoyed having its seats filled. Many who could neither attend the event nor watch it on international or local TV stations have expressed regret for not having been at the stadium. This is not so much for the tales of how colorful the event was, but for the entertainment aspect. While AKBC Television had in earlier news bulletin brought information on the football and the classic parade, Colonel Edemefreti here presents the musicians both of Akwa Ibom origin and non-origin.
It was a surprise to many spectators is what greeted them after the speeches was not a football match as expected, but a galore of entertainment. It started with a march by the Ibom Real Brass Band, who communicated to the visitors their great welcome to the state by the government and people of Akwa Ibom State. The Akwa Ibom Men's song, which could be held as an anthem of love, as produced by the Ibiono-born Akwa Ibom son, popularly known as Mesh, had everybody at the arena playing the artist. Niche, accompanied by a line of dancers, thrilled the audience. The next was the Melvin Crew. It was another thoughtful engagement as their tunes sent waves that electrified many, especially the youthful class. The artist Casey led another dance troupe on the pitch with his best. Prior to the line-up so far presented, Akwa Ibom sons and daughters who could be said to have made names in the Nigerian music industry had the pitch to themselves as they performed the theme song for the event, Happy Celebration. The artists included Pat Akpabio, Aichi Dennis, Desmond Ofong, Mr. Exto, and Pastor Gidi Gidi. Colonel Adam Efreti reporting.
Prayers, songs and praises dominated most Christian worship centers yesterday in appreciation to God for ushering them into the month of November. AKBC News captured worshippers' mood when visiting some churches in Uyo. The story is here presented.
In Assemblies of God, Nigeria, 66 Akwanesian Street, Uyo, the Reverend Minister Imo Okpong declared November as a no-nonsense month. The theme, Your Season of Reward has come. The Reverend Okpong said, God, who keeps his covenant, will not allow those who hold on to him to see failure. Drawing his text from the book of Genesis chapter 31, the Reverend Okpong said that God sees even in the darkest place and have programmed the people to be rewarded. The cleric admonished parents not to deny their children the right to choose their spouse for peace and harmony to reign.
There are two kinds of rewards. The positive reward for the good done, and the negative reward for the evil done. If we are to receive positive reward, we must eschew evil.
At Dominion Mega Parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Oron Road, worship took the center stage of the service. At the Solemn African Church in Sukara Fort, Venerable Israel Benson charged Christians to remain faithful, noting that God will visit them at the appointed time. Venerable Benson also prayed for peace in the country and the state.
Whoever possesses the king is an authority over every other person that comes in our house.
Some worshippers said November is a month of God's manifestation, and God will meet Christians at the point of their needs.
This month is going to be a great month. And the message that I have for us and for the entire Bible-mites and Nigeria and the world is that God has the answer.
God wants us to appreciate and to jubilate in his victory. So the people of our Bibles, I want to say that no matter the condition we are passing through, no matter what we see on ground, God is still above.
Being a Christian means we should follow the patterns and the precepts of the Lord Jesus Christ. We should be like him in every aspect.
The service featured choir rendition, thanksgiving, and
that only personal hygiene can solve the problem of offensive mouth and unpleasant body odor? For details, stay with us after this time out.
My challenge to the Akwa Ibom youth today is to rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. Rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. There must be sustainability. So for me as a governor, I'm charging Akwa Ibom children. The future belongs to you. Your fathers have done their bit. Rise up and protect your future. Bring a governor that will bring industrialization. Bring a governor that will bring progress. Bring a governor that will bring development. Not the one that goes on ethnic cleavage. Not the one that goes to bring tribalism. Not the one that gangs up with elders and wants to come through the window. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our dear President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for the endorsement given to him by the National Executive Committee of our party as a sole candidate in 2015 presidential election. I want to thank the people of Nigeria for recognizing that leadership comes from God, and God gives it to whom He pleases. So I stand with my dear President so that he will succeed for my children to have Nigeria tomorrow. I thank Nigeria for supporting Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
What do you do if getting close to a friend to share your ordeals, then you suddenly realize that he or she has an offensive mouth odor? How would you react when rushing to hug a relative only to be repelled by an unpleasant body odor? What causes bad breath, an offensive odor? Specifically, how can it be remedied? The answer is personal hygiene. Personal hygiene is a practice by an individual to care for his or her body. It is also imperative for a healthy lifestyle. As such, to stay away from germs and other microorganisms, it is essential to maintain personal hygiene. How then can personal hygiene be maintained? Eyavenopol sought professional advice and suggestions on ways of maintaining personal hygiene in the following report.
That song reminds a lot of people of their primary school days on the importance of hygiene. The lyrics of the song says, to be beautiful and healthy, there is need to bath regularly, clean your teeth, wash clothing, and keep nails clean. No one can talk about personal hygiene when these points are ignored. Hygiene comes from the name of the Greek goddess of health, Hygia, and is a set of practices performed for the preservation of health, including practices, lifestyle issues, and commodities that engender a safe and healthy environment. Personal hygiene, on the other hand, involves these practices performed by an individual to care for his or her bodily health. What is considered to be proper hygiene include bathing regularly, washing hands, wearing clean clothing, brushing of teeth at least twice daily, and trimming of nails. Others are covering one's mouth when coughing, disposal of soft tissues appropriately, making sure toilets are clean, and ensuring that food handling areas are clean. A chief nursing officer, Mrs. Grace Ekanem, spoke extensively on this.
The care of the skin here includes even the nails. By the time you have problems with the nail, maybe the nail bed is cut into, that will bring another infection. Your own armpit, shave it. Let that armpit be clean shaven. You have to make your own kitchen good. Your cooking utensils fine. You don't have your environment littered.
Mrs. Ekanem stressed that on personal hygiene, no part of the body should be left untouched, and also suggested measures to go about it.
I don't want to remember what I saw sometime during my process of being a nurse, of when somebody who did not bath had to mistake a worm as a snake. It's not good to repeat panties. It is not good to sleep without bathing. I would want to advise, please, my friend, personal hygiene is very good. Personal hygiene will help relationships to be intact. My fellow people, if you are very clean in the house, talk about cleanliness all through, as I have said. What will that your husband see outside to go after when you are very clean?
Human body can provide places for disease-causing germs and practices to grow as well as multiply. These places include the skin and the round openings of the body. According to a medical laboratory scientist, Dr. Nkeru Wemetok, it is less likely that germs will get inside the body if people have personal hygiene.
The rules are always there, which you must observe. It will start from the things you do with your body, the things you do with the environment, the things you do with the things you get in contact with the environment that would help you to reduce the risk of contracting infection or infectious agent. This would involve that you observe things that will make you be clean in the body, and it involves things that will help you to have oral hygiene.
To stay away from pathogens that can cause infections like tuberculosis, cholera, Ebola, urinary tract infections, and other communicable diseases, health workers advise that one must be careful of what he eats, what he touches, his environment, how he manages waste products, and how he keeps his body.
As a counselor, I have come across so many marriages that are destroyed because of neglect of personal hygiene. Even friends of the same sex, fellow women, somebody will be talking, you are talking, and one of the people, you will see somebody doing like this because he cannot contain the mouth. Somebody will even look at your ear and then will not be able to drink water. You can dress very well, but the inside is not what to write home with. Please, let us change so that socially we will fit in.
You have to keep yourself clean. From your mouth to your body to the way you dispose of your waste products, and the way you handle the environment, the things you find in the environment. You don't touch things that are not necessary to be touched. You are supposed to wash your hands as frequently as possible.
Married couples, on the other hand, should not push their spouses to other men or women because of non-consideration of personal hygiene. What are those things women and men hate from others as far as personal hygiene is concerned?
In all-round neatness, from your head to the toe, everything inclusive.
Unshaved armpits, smelling mouth, and not picking the teeth after eating.
I believe a man should always be with his hanky. I don't like seeing wet faces. 2, I believe you must be able to wash the armpits of your shirts. You know, they tend to draw patterns behind. You understand? And maybe 3, I believe you also have to be well trimmed, well kempt, you know, clean shaven.
If given deaf ear, personal hygiene can ruin relationships, cause diseases, hinder one's opportunity, scare friends, as well as get one to be negatively branded. Have you ever bothered about why they say cleanliness is next to godliness? It's because hygiene is very important. That means if you've never taken hygiene to be serious and important in your life, it's time you begin to do so. Because like they say, health is wealth. Iyaginopo reporting.
Good report there on personal hygiene. After all, cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness. The National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers has ended its seminar and National Executive Council meeting in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. The seminar had as its theme, imperative of building a sustainable aircraft maintenance hangar. Addressing participants, Governor Godswill Akpabio explained that the Ibom International Airport, run by the country, would soon have an to accommodate bigger aircrafts. Represented by the Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Towode, the governor pointed out that beyond such capital-intensive projects as the Ibom International Airport, Many other projects have been executed to enhance the living standard of the people, which has given the people of the state a pride of place in the Committee of States. He said in order to sustain the present level of infrastructural development, more than 40 certified engineers have been trained by the state government to provide manpower in the aviation industry.
Greatest philanthropist of our time. The man with the largest hand. He says, and it's always sure, once you meet me, you are alive and never be the same man again. Nobody has ever had contact with His Excellency Chief of the North and his life remains the same. But he does not believe that there should be anything too heavy that he cannot pack except life.
Of NAPU, Comrade Isaac David Bellamy appreciated the state government for providing an enabling environment for the successful hosting of the event, while also thanking the participants for their interest. The NAPU President lauded Chief Godswill Akpabio for providing the MRO unit with a hangar to showcase the Nigerian nation to the international community as far as the aviation industry is concerned. Also speaking, Dr. Titus Kehinde Olaniyi posited that building MRO facilities in Nigeria would save airlines huge revenue they expend on aircraft maintenance overseas. He called on Nigerian airlines to build a cooperative alliance with global industry stakeholders, including viable investors, by supporting an indigenous and economically viable MRO facility that would address the industry's needs. High point of the event was the presentation of awards to Governor Godswill Akpabio and others, including the Kano State Governor, Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. Into reports of multiple drawing of salaries and pensions by some public servants and retired officers has been inaugurated by the state government. Inaugurating the committee in her office, the head of civil service, Mrs. Cecilia Udoisien, said, constituting the committee became imperative following reports from officials of Skybank to the effect that some officers in the service and retirees are drawing and pensions from more than one pay point. This, she said, became evident as a result of the migration of all employees and pensioners to the integrated payroll system following the general conduct of the biometric exercise. Mrs. Udoisien tasked members of the committee to do a thorough job by unearthing those behind the fraudulent act and bring them to justice. Responding, the chairman of the committee and State Accountant General, Mr. Udoyi Sobara, said, given the composition of the committee and the expected cooperation from the management of Skybank and consultants handling the integrated payroll system, his committee is certain to deliver on its mandate. The Accountant General solicited the cooperation of his colleagues in the College of Permanent Secretaries and other heads of government establishments in the state, which the committee may reach out for information to fast-track its assignment. Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary Budget Office, Pastor Nicholas Ekarika, and the State Auditor General, Dr. Monday Akpan, pledged to bring their professional expertise to bear in the discharge of the assignment in order to seal all loopholes and strengthen the internal control mechanism in salary and pension payment and administration in the state. The committee, which has 2 months to submit its report, also has the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Barrister Offiong Udofe, that of Establishments, Mr. Israel Udofa, as members, while the Director, Computer Unit, Mr. Sandy Udioko, is to serve as Secretary. The and Edo State was further strengthened last weekend when Ms. Patience Awana, former head of civil service in the state, late Grace Awana, was joined in wedlock to Mr. Bashir Iramofu Amadu from Edo State. The solemnization of Holy took place at Methodist Church, Nigeria, Emmanuel Cathedral, Itametoi. Class, ministers of the gospel and members of both families. Livingstone Daniel tells us more.
In his homily, the Methodist Archbishop of Uyo Diocese, Most Reverend Emmanuel Udofia, said for the couple with regrets, sadness or reproach in their marriage, they must do what God tells them. The clergyman emphasized that the church believes that marriage is a gift from God and a means of grace in which man and woman become one in heart, mind and body. He further stressed that marriage is a sacred and lifelong union of a man and woman who give themselves to each other in love and trust. Joining Mr. Madu and Patient as husband and wife shortly after exchanging their marriage vows and rings, the Emeritus of the Methodist Church Nigeria, Dr. Sunday Mbang, enjoined them to always solve their differences themselves, saying that divorce is unbiblical.
To love and to cherish till death do us part. I declare you husband and wife.
Couples signed the marriage register and were presented with marriage certificate. Advising the new couple, the Minister for Housing and Urban Renewal, Mrs. Akone Yahi, said she is happy to witness Patient's wedding to Madu, noting that with the proper home bringing of the couple, they are better equipped for the task ahead.
We will help you to stabilize and enjoy your marriage. You will grow from strength to strength to enjoy the benefits of marriage in the name of Jesus.
At the reception, which took place at the Emerald Event Center, Uyo, the chairman on the occasion, Barrister Gogo Dienye, told the couple marriage is not about funfair, but understanding the couple should share. Barrister Dienye, however, listed loving one another as a recipe for a successful union. He further advised them to come out with what would make their marriage work, rather than copy others. The reception featured cutting of cake, feeding of the bride and groom, as well as nuptial dance. Responding, the groom, Mr. Madu, thanked all for their support and cooperation.
I'm excited, and for that reason I won't want to use something. But you know, it's going to be on the to stand up here to appreciate this very beautiful exercise where we go today.
In an interview, the bride's father, Sir Anwana, and the stand-in mother, Mrs. Aradmkuba, said the joy of every parent is to be alive to give out their children in marriage and wish the couple well.
Try to live together, love themselves, love each other.
Livingstone Daniel reporting.
That's our package this morning. The next one is at 12 in the afternoon. Thanks so much for being there. Have a great week ahead. Good morning.